All right, let's dive into McDonald's latest earnings call. I know, earnings calls don't exactly scream excitement, but trust me on this one. This one's got more drama than a soap opera. We're talking E. coli outbreaks, global slowdowns, and a whole lot of chicken. Get ready to see those golden arches in a whole new light.
It's wild how McDonald's is trying to handle all this while staying true to themselves, you know? They're getting squeezed from all sides. People want cheap eats, but they also want something new and exciting. Investors want to see growth, but the market's shrinking. It's a tough spot to be in.
No kidding. Let's start with that E. coli situation. Not exactly the kind of headlines you want when you're known for Happy Meals.
Yeah, that outbreak tied to those onions from that Taylor Farms place. It forced McDonald's to pull onions from tons of their restaurants. They're dealing with lawsuits now, and the hit to their reputation, that's going to take some time to recover from.
It's crazy how one ingredient can cause so much chaos. But I have to say, their response was pretty impressive. They didn't try to sweep it under the rug. They got rid of those onions right away, stopped working with that supplier, and they were really upfront about the whole investigation.
Textbook crisis management for sure. They even made a point of saying the beef patties got the all clear from Colorado, just to put everyone's mind at ease, you know? But even with all that, their sales and the number of people coming in have taken a hit. The big question is, how do they win back trust after something like this?
Right, because when you're feeding families, food safety is everything. It's going to be interesting to see how they regain that confidence. But this whole thing brings up a bigger point. How do they balance this need to be affordable with keeping things safe and high quality?
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt. And it gets even trickier when you factor in the economy. McDonald's have been really pushing those value-focused deals like that $5 meal deal.
And it's been a massive hit. It's like they've figured out how to win over budget-conscious customers without killing their profits.
The numbers are pretty impressive. People who went for that $5 meal deal were spending over $10 on average. It shows that even when people are hunting for bargains, they'll spend a little more if the deal's good enough.
So they're reeling people in with the low prices, and then, bam, they upsell them on other stuff. It's a brilliant strategy. But can they keep this up? Especially with the global fast food industry shrinking. We're seeing fewer people eating out in big markets like the UK, France, and Germany.
Yeah, it's a rough climate out there. But that's where things get interesting with McDonald's. They know about this global slowdown, and they're adjusting their strategies for each country. They even have this system called McSmart to share what's working between different regions. It's all part of their big plan, accelerating the arches.
It's like a global game of fast food chess,
Exact.
finding the right moves for each market. And even with things slowing down, they're holding their own, even gaining ground in some places. That's some serious resilience.
It shows how strong their brand is and how well-oiled their machine is. But it also makes you wonder, can they keep up with all this focus on value and still be innovative? McDonald's isn't just up against other burger joints anymore. They're competing with every restaurant, grocery store, even those meal delivery apps.
And let's not forget about how people's tastes are changing. Everyone's more health conscious these days, more adventurous with food. Can a giant like McDonald's, built on burgers and fries, really keep up?
Well, that's where their chicken strategy comes in. McDonald's is betting big on chicken, and they're not being shy about it. They're pushing their McCrispy chicken sandwich all over the globe. They even tried out that chicken Big Mac here in the U.S. And get this, the chicken market is twice as big as the beef market, and it's growing way faster.
So they're not just following a trend, they're tapping into a market with huge potential. But they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, are they?
Nope, they're trying to appeal to everyone with a wider menu. They've even been testing out premium stuff like the Big Arch Burger. It's being tried out in places like Portugal, Germany, and Canada.
A fancy burger from McDonald's. That's a bold move. But maybe that's what they need to do to stand out.
And it seems to be working. Even with the higher price, the Big Arch is doing well in those test markets. It shows that even when people are looking for value, there's room for McDonald's to offer something more upscale.
It's almost like they're trying to redefine fast food. But with all these deals, the chicken expansion, the fancy stuff, it makes you wonder, can they handle it all without spreading themselves too thin?
That's the billion-dollar question, and it's one that analysts are really digging into because in the end, it all comes down to profits. Can they keep those margins healthy with this multi-pronged approach?
Exactly. It's one thing to juggle value, innovation, and global expansion. But making it all work financially, that's the real challenge. And that's where things get really interesting.
So yeah, analysts are definitely worried about those profit margins. With all this focus on value, they're wondering if McDonald's can keep making money. Especially with food costs and labor going up, it's a valid concern.
It does make you think, those $5 meal deals, they can't be bringing in huge profits, right?
Well, that's where McDonald's gets smart. They're using those deals to get people in the door. It's all about driving traffic. Then once they've got you, they hit you with those add-on sales and clever marketing. Remember that stat? The average check for the $5 meal deal was over $10.
Oh, yeah. It's like they're luring you in with the promise of a cheap meal. And then, bam, they've got you adding fries, a drink, maybe even a McFlurry.
Precisely. It's not about being sneaky, it's just good business. They know how to create those tempting offers. They're masters of the upside.
It's like a carefully calculated McMaze of deliciousness.
Yeah.
You go in for a quick bite, and suddenly you're walking out with a whole feast. But it's not just about those impulse buys, is it?
No, they're also using technology to make the whole experience more personalized. That loyalty program is a great example. They're gathering data on what people like, then using that to tailor offers and promotions. It's all about making the experience more engaging.
So it's like, hey, we see you love chicken McNuggets and chocolate shakes. Here's a deal just for you.
Exactly. It makes the customer feel special, and McDonald's gets to sell more of what they want.
It's crazy how quickly they've embraced all this tech. I mean, a few years ago, who would have thought you could order a Big Mac on your phone?
It shows they're willing to adapt and change. They're not afraid to try new things, to push the boundaries of what fast food can be.
And let's not forget about their marketing. They know how to create buzz, tap into trends, stay relevant.
Those recent campaigns have been spot on. That collector's edition with the retro toys, that was genius. And the Grimace Shake thing that went viral, that shows they can connect with younger people.
They've managed to keep their classic image while still feeling fresh and modern.
And that adaptability is key in today's market. They're not just competing with other fast food places anymore. It's the whole food industry, delivery services, meal kits, everything.
So they have to keep innovating, give people a reason to choose McDonald's over all the other options. But all this innovation, all this expansion, it costs money. And that brings us back to those analysts and their profit concerns.
Right, they're wondering if McDonald's can keep this up without hurting their bottom line.
So are they worried about profits taking a hit?
They seem confident they can manage it all. They believe that value plus smart marketing and technology will drive both traffic and profits. They're playing the long game, investing in the future, and betting it'll all pay off.
It's a bold move, for sure. But McDonald's has a history of pulling off big moves. They've proven they can adapt, evolve, reinvent themselves.
And that's what makes them so interesting. They're like a mirror reflecting the global economy, consumer trends, the whole changing world.
Now, it's not just about keeping up with people's tastes and fighting off the competition. They're also dealing with some big operational challenges.
Exactly. And one of the biggest right now is, well, one of the big things they talked about was this E. coli situation. They know it's a major setback, but they're determined to come back stronger. They're going all in on reinforcing their safety protocols, tightening up their supply chain.
It sounds like they're taking it seriously, which is good to see. But rebuilding trust after something like this takes time.
Absolutely. It's not just about fixing the immediate problem. It's about regaining that confidence, proving that they're committed to food safety. It'll be interesting to see how they communicate their efforts to the public. Transparency is key in a situation like this.
You know, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? They're dealing with this E. coli scare while also pushing all this new stuff like that chicken Big Mac. Talk about a balancing act.
It's definitely a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
But it also shows their resilience, their ability to adapt. They're not letting this crisis derail their long-term plans.
It makes you wonder what's next for them. Where do they go from here?
Well, if this earnings call is any indication, they're not slowing down. They're going full steam ahead with their value strategy, their chicken expansion, their digital initiatives.
It's almost like they're saying, hey, we've got this. We're McDonald's. We've been through tough times before, and we'll come out on top again.
And they have a track record of success. They've weathered storms in the past, adapted to changing tastes, stayed ahead of the curve.
It's a reminder that even giants like McDonald's have to constantly evolve. To stay relevant, you have to be willing to change, to experiment, to take risks.
And that's what makes this whole story so fascinating. It's a glimpse into how a global brand navigates a world that's changing faster than ever.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into McDonald's, what's the big takeaway?
I think it's a lesson in resilience, in adaptability, and the power of innovation. Even in the face of challenges, McDonald's is pushing forward, trying new things, staying true to its core values.
It's a reminder that even in a world that's constantly changing, there's always room for growth. There's always room for a little bit of McMagic. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even a little bit inspiring. And we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on McDonald's? How do you think they'll navigate the future? Share your ideas, your predictions, your McMusings with us on social media. Let's keep this conversation going.